No, that's late. But
Lee did have two zero. And there may be something to that. PT, I don't really know, passing problems, so.
it's,
And it may be something. The other thing when they're doing. Yeah, leave off. That seems bad.
It's like a full.
Contacts. If there's any.
the easy on and the fan going, you could hear that over. I know.
That's their appetite, cool, that.
Like nothing, you shouldn't be.
Okay. They did, 12 rows split. Yeah, we need some weeks, we try to.
And it's like one of our ladies, she just learned to. But at first it's not. You got to learn like for the next year. That's why my math writes me.
Thanks, sir.
Because when you can't hold her.
Is everybody here that's? She's on.
No, did you make it? I made it.
She's supposed to bring slaw. The important things. The important thing. That's right. Jane.
The middle.
Yeah.
I think I'm in here.
Full process, yeah. You have some? No. Oh, wow, yes. I told her. So I had her fight. Yeah. Professor Butler, and she said that they were fine. Sarah. I don't know her in this setting. Then she goes out of Keys. Oh, yeah. Keys and everything. I remember her. Yeah, before she's sweetheart. Yep. She got that smile on her glass. Yeah, but I'm telling you, she was surviving. That is not threatening. She's not a girl in there, I think. Well, I suppose, you know, I had a whole house that had three. Like, the other two boys, and then one on one floor. Yep.
Very. So what's it, does anybody have to be here soon or? Is that what high school?
Oh, get it right.
The price of, I mean, that's. So those are going to be going, right? I think we're gonna get some.
Wait, you're. Oh, you're. You don't need to. I'm gonna Joey. She's.
This is one week's. You really should have when I came here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just let it go, let it outside. Yeah. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Appreciate everybody coming out, on one of the few dry days we've had in a while. Don't wanna wish water away, we just wanna wish that it comes on in. So let's go ahead and get started though, and call the meeting to order, and we'll start with minutes from the previous meeting.
7:25, and before we have the. So names, if I got any information wrong. Did my best. But sometimes my best, all of this. It's the important information was that they will go.
Oh, that's great. Word will be March.
There's a report March. What did I say? April 2025? Thank you.
I make the motion to accept.
Very much. Oh, you already wrote that last one.
One slide point.
Yes.
Kimberly, in the first big paragraph,
It's spelled with an extra E.
it is, okay.
And yeah, it was.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
But you didn't return me home.
Hey, I was like, I'm sure I can call Kimberly.
I'm a G, not a Q.
You're a G, not a Q. Do I do it? Yeah, I still have to fix that.
That's okay.
I think I've done that on 30 copies.
Ever since, Dr. Quinn Medicine won.
I'll fix all this. Now, so we're good to go.
Any other discussion on minutes? There is a motion on the table. Is there a second? Second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, and then we'll turn it over to Mr. Newell for the treasury report.
Okay, I did print off my orders for everybody to look at it. We won't talk over the meeting, so I can go back over if everybody wants. If not, then, you know, documents are, so I don't need to look them over. It's up to you guys, if you want to present them again. Have another report.
We've already accepted the reg, so,
Yeah, it's just a break, we're probably able to,
and this, you got something we need to go through, I have to say, we get through.
or take the same to those. Other things.
Do we need a motion to move
Or,
forward?
we've already accepted them, I don't think we did. accept
There's the
them.
March 24th.
Unless it was changed, if you need a motion to.
I voted for.
April's in here as well, it's the same.
Yeah, I should be over it.
Okay.
Or, just a part of the last meeting.
Okay.
They were still fixing something in the UK, so I can take it for the documents.
I mean, we accepted April.
I said,
Okay. Motion made and seconded to accept the April reports. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passed. So before we move into new business, a couple of things,
You do your head.
what's that?
Like, was it April, too?
Oh, we do need to present it.
Well, the first two being in March is when we did last time, so then our April version also.
Okay.
It's gonna be today's.
Well, okay, so we do need to go over that one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
This man, we gotta be ready, I'll go ahead. Okay. I'll be the one with the, big number one in the upper right corner. The little one in the middle, we currently have $5,470,808.19 in cash. That's currently spread across the, main checking account, Department of National Bank, the, West Side Money Market, and 6 CDs, each valued at $250,000. Towards the bottom of the page, you'll see a little number 2, you'll see a negative $39.24. When the sales tax, last year was paid, it was overpaid by $39.24. So Sonera's checking the state to see if she can either get a credit or a refund back, so we'll leave it up to them what they'll do, but most likely I think they'll do a credit, just to make it easier. 3 is your long-term liability, it's still the only liability that the district has, that's annual bonds payable. And on the back, it's just page 2, that's everything I said, it's in written form. The next document will be the big page 3, number right, going to the little number 1. For the month of April, the district received $95,369 in tax revenue, $430 in rental revenue, which is number 2. The number 3 is $9,730.53 in interest revenue. The 4 down there, that's just showing the Q4 payment that's been in the UK, so that would make it 100% for the year. Number 5 goes along with that same payment. Number 6 is your monthly cleaning service. Number 7, that's your bank fees for the West South Money Market account that we have each month. And then number 8 is those roof repairs we did a few months back, solid leaks. Moving along to the big number 6 in the upper right. Come down to the little number 1 through April, the district has received 101.72% of the budgeted taxes that we were supposed to receive. It came out to $2,602,346.26. The little number 2 is your interest earned, and for the year so far, it's $105,318.75, and that is an unbudgeted item, so that's just income that we had to spend there. Number 3 shows the quarterly payments to UK. We made all 4 of them for the year, so we're at 100% there. Number five, just, professional services, 5302, or number four is, sorry, it's at 72.16% on the year, will be fine. Number five is at 77.27%, so we'll be fine there as well. Then one at number six, utilities have come way down this year, we're only, at 70% of the year. I'd estimate we'll probably end up around the 78-80% of what we had. But once the HVAC got fixed, the utility really started dropping. So on the back, we did a big 107 on the right, coming down to the low 7. That's just your marketing spec programs, you're 64.72%, so you'll be perfectly fine for the year. Coming down to the page, it's the big number 8 number right. Coming down to the little number 8, that's your audit still, it's still at 86%. So now we're still working on the last audit. Certain it's not gonna get done by the end of this fiscal year, so it's looking like it's gonna be pushed to the next one, so we only got about 28 days with it. So I would say we'll be at 86% this year, and like 2 audits on next year, depending on when they get it done. Number 9, is 5909, is bank fees. So what that includes is the, fee that we pay to, CACO each year on our bonds, and then also the well south fee that we pay each month. And the reason that's over the 100% is because at that time we didn't have the well south account. So that's something that's changed this year, we budgeted for next year. Okay, number 10, that's just the building insurance, and as it's been the case all year long, it's 151.38% because insurance went up. Number 11 is the principal payment, which, we made one payment for April for the year, it's $180,000, and in below will be the interest payment of $77,487.50. And then the big number 9, that's just everything I said in written form. And then pages 10 through 14, it's just the pay detail for the month of April. As I mentioned last time, all the old checks from previous years have been cleared at this point. The only checks that are still outstanding is from the year of 2025. So we're up to date on that. So it's been, something's been in work for several months, I feel like, so it's finally there. And then behind it, you'll find all your reconciliations. It's just pointing out that everything's been cleared, and the Farmers National Bank, and then all the TDs are still 250, they'll stay there. And the very last page, your well south money market, for the month, you gained $5,540, and the only deduction was the fees, they come out $635, that's 86 cents. Questions on any of that, or concerns, comments? Thanks, Mark. I think. I think we got. Move a little fast on that one. That's fine. That is fine. So I think that's all on treasure. Is that everything you need, Mark? Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yep, thank you for your work on that, as always. Before we jump into new business, a couple of things that I just want to do. Want to welcome our MCS assistant with us tonight, Ms. Rachel. So open the floor up to you if you want to say anything.
She's fairly new, she just started on the 19th, and so Alethea was here for the first week and then took vacation and gave her a big to-do list, and I think she did that in 2 days.
Rachel is the mother of a house full of 4 acres. She's been working with us for years. Unpaid, now she just gets paid.
Her was the mountain with her. One you posted the other.
Her daughter is our Dungeons and Dragons club.
I always forget, that's.
She loves that. Yeah, she's great at it too.
Welcome, Ms. Rachel. Glad to have you. And then we would like, to, if it's all right with everybody, we're gonna move, something a little bit further down the line up to the top, and that is a request for the second 4-H agent. And I'll turn it over to Ms. J.
So we put in the budget for next year, for a second 4-H agent. And so to get the ball rolling, couple of motions that we need tonight. We need a motion, okay, the position, either in the wording, it needs to be, either the fifth agent position as being the new 4H or second 4H agent. So that HR does not confuse that with our first 4H agent.
So if I stated, a motion, to acquire a fifth agent as our second 4-H agent, that would be sufficient?
Yes.
I make that motion.
I'll say,
Thank you.
motion's been made, and say, any other discussion, Jay?
Well, go ahead with that motion, then I'm gonna.
Okay, all right, so we got a motion on the table, for the fifth agent that will be serving as the second 4H agent. All those in favor?
No, lady number two.
I know. That makes it feel like it's one line.
Take one, take two.
There you go.
All those in favor of the motion as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Good deal.
All right, thank you very much. The second motion, we need a motion as to whether you want to use a county screening committee. So the purpose of the screening committee's changed a little bit from what it used to be several years ago. So the screening committee has a makeup of, usually it's the district board chairman or a proxy that the chairman chooses. Chairman of the CEC, and also chairman or somebody from 4H council. And then one or two other personnel to be on the screening committee. So the committee will receive some sifted applications that meet the requirements, and we've already done the requirements that we're looking for. And the screening committee basically will go over those applications and list their strong points and areas of improvement or, their strengths basically on that. Years ago, they used to rank them and say, this is our first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice. That is no longer the way. It's basically, they point out, this agent's got more strengths than this agent. To meet our requirements. Okay. So, or you can choose not even to have that screening committee. And that selection by HR and, me, area director, regional director.
Just a reminder that the screening committee is the only say that this district board has. And it's not technically a say.
So explain that committee process to me, because I'm a newbie. So do we just get to see the person, or do we get to see
Because
application?
you're gonna see the applications and their cover letters. And, that screening committee has to go through some steps. There's actually a video discussing the purpose and what they're supposed to do. And they have to sign a non-disclosure statement for 5 years. So a lot of things that's discussed and said and whatever in that room, in that committee, stays with the committee for at least 5 years.
We have occasions, it's for, it is a screening committee.
Yeah, and so along with the minutes, the list of qualifications have already been brought out by the CEC and 4H council and so forth. Go along, so that first screening will come from HR. Do they meet the requirements? Do they have a degree? Do they have certain things, so they'll do the first six. And then the rest of the come down. So There's no certain number of applications that the committee's gonna get. They'll get the majority of the pitch that meet, you know, that criteria, the initial criteria.
If I remember right, we don't see things either, right? We just see candidate A, candidate B.
I don't. I've been sitting on a screening committee, what's that?
That would happen to pay. I'd say, yeah.
Names.
No, they are, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. It's purely based on what we see. Unless it changes.
I mean, that's not.
That's recent enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So. When you will make the final. UK HR, that decision will be, are you in on the, I am in on that.
So we got, so boys will be there.
Okay.
Jay's position. Not that we don't let, we do let them do a lot. I promise. We were just very frustrated with the board because we felt like we didn't have to say, like, through your hiring process. Just have this screening committee. That's it. And the same with every person who's been hired for the board, it's a frustration for long.
So since this is a new position, it will move a little bit slower than Caitlin's position because that position was already established. This is a new position, so it'll take a couple of weeks longer for HR to get all that done. Basically, HR does all the first initial step. They'll post it. Once it gets posted, then we'll know the closing date. Then we can kind of select a screening committee and set a screening committee date, if that's what you decide. So basically, right now, we just need a motion, yes or no, do we need a screening committee?
I make a motion to have a screening committee for the 5th, 8th, and our second group.
The second.
I'll say.
Motion's been made and seconded for a screening committee to exist for this position. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll get the ball rolling. So we'll be looking a couple months probably before we see anything.
No, I think things could happen in July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm?
I'm an optimist, I'm sorry.
Well, you got that in, you know.
I'm not. He's the name wrong, I'm not doing anything nice about it.
August 15th.
I want to
Hopefully Barry did better than me, because last time good report, but.
Hey,
Yeah.
moving that up. My brother is in Arkansas and later.
oh my
Oh,
goodness.
thank you. Anything you want to say, Kim, while you're here?
Only, I was here for questions.
Okay.
Any questions? I'm good. Yeah, I'm not thrilled to day that.
Good. We'll travel safe.
Thank
We will move on to new business then. We have some written requests, so I'll turn it over to Barry.
First, we have, Kendra Pete, she has a, pet expo that she's wanting to do here at the pavilion. And I'll let her tell you some more about it, and I have a, facility paperwork here in my hand. And we looked at the calendar on Friday, and I'm looking at it right now, and as of right now, that space is available during the time frame that she's wanting, so I'll let her tell you some more about it.
There, so what I'm trying to do is get, can everybody hear me okay? I'll talk very loud. I'm trying to get all of like the pet service related industry people together in one space. That's kind of an outdoor space, but also weather friendly. And your pavilion in here is one of the biggest places that I could think in the county that would work for this. And so this way it's, you know, if people do have pets on site, then it's, you know, the weather, we're all covered, it's all okay. And it's supposed, the idea is to make it mostly educational and informational for pet owners. if it is okay, and then obviously this is something that is up to you guys, but I was hoping maybe to talk to the shelter or someone to do like maybe a little rabies clinic on site, just to kind of encourage that as well. To possibly let groomers do like discount nail trims, that kind of thing, just to kind of make it, you know, easier for people to find these sources and, you know, so.
Are you thinking like cats and dogs or?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
primarily cats and dogs. That's what I work in, so that's where my brain goes to. Really, I own Pet Care, which is a dog walking, cat sitting taxi service. And it does have my LLC on there, which is not Pet Care. It's a higher Pet Care, it's my PBA. That's why that might be confusing. But that's where my thought was. And I did talk to someone about liability insurance, and they, you know, we talked about just cats and dogs, not exotic animals or anything like that. So that is included in there. If, you know, he mentioned that you guys would want some visible sign of a liability that would cover the extension office. The insurance that I talked to covers the extension office, it would cover my business, and it would cover people attending. It doesn't cover other members, but
I have that.
that should be in there.
Cash in the cost.
Yeah.
Very good, I found your.
So we talked Friday about, it was gonna be on the Saturday. No, okay, we talked on Friday about the. Okay, yeah.
So the animal control people are already looking to schedule a rabies clinic in the fall.
They're looking to schedule one in the fall. I haven't talked to them about it yet. Like, I've been kind of sitting on this, like, until I can get in front of you guys to get approval, and then I have connected with Rachel about. Friday, but I wasn't aware that they were planning on. So this could be built into that. That would be a perfect way to, if it was okay with you guys, to build that in. Obviously, that's her call. If you say no, I'll tell, like, but.
Your vendors lined up.
I've talked to a few people, like I said, I've been kind of waiting until, because it is in September, so we've got, you know, some wiggle room as far as getting vendors lined up. I have made connections with some people at events that I've been set up at this spring about it, and they're all kind of waiting. We were kind of waiting to make sure that I had confirmation on a place, and I didn't have to pivot and find a different place. So that's kind of, I haven't really advertised it yet, but I've talked to a few people in the industry. So.
I don't think I've seen it yet, so.
The nearest one that I know, there was one in Lexington back in May. I didn't get to go to that one, but that's the only one that I have seen locally. I think there's a big one that's further out in western Kentucky maybe, but I'm not sure.
So you're requesting use of the outdoor space and the indoor space if it rains, or just the outdoor space?
We're gonna stick to the outdoor space. We did potentially write down a rain date if we needed to, but I think with the covering, we would probably be okay unless it's just torrential, like monsoon weather. We could probably, which it is September, so you never know what you're gonna get.
So it could be.
Yes, yeah.
And then you would just need to do that day? Is that what it is? I don't agree.
We were looking at the afternoon, so we were tentatively saying from 2 to, I think, 8. I made the flyer say 3 to 6. I may extend it to 7, just because 3 hours that's a lot of work for 3 hours. So I may extend it to 7, and then if it dies down, we'll leave early. But that was, we looked at it because the farmer's market kind of has a lock on it that morning. So we switched to the afternoon. So that's the hour.
So these topics are things you're gonna have information.
Yeah, these are the
about.
people I want to reach out to and get connected. And I've already talked to some of the people on the list. I haven't got all the way through, but I've been making that. And then I am gonna charge the vendors to set up just to help cover the liability and the rental space. I'm gonna try to keep it minimum, like maybe $15, I think is what I'm gonna aim for, which is pretty low for a vendor event, if anybody sets up at that. And if there's any extra, I'm gonna try to give that back to the rescues. If we can get some rescues to set up, the goal is to donate it back, which is what typically happens at pet related events like this. If there's extra money, to donate it back to rescues, so. It's
Very
not for me.
No, concern here.
No, because like I said, we've got, you know, my big thing was with the insurance and, he's got with that here, so I'm good with it. You all are.
I make a motion to approve the use of the space, for the pet expo on September 6th.
I'll second.
Then made and seconded to approve the event on September the sixth. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Berry.
Next, we have Vicki Hatchell. She is with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. They're requesting to use all 4 of these rooms and one of our kitchens down the other end, October 13th, 14th, and 15th, for a very large training. I think she has folks from all over the state coming here for this. They used our facility last year and had a good experience, but where this is a lot further out, we need to come to you because it's outside of our 3-month window of reserving the space. So I'll let her tell you more about it and you can answer any questions.
Yes, hello, my name is Vicki Hatchell, so nice to be here. I work with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services in Frankfurt, and I hate to say this, but I do HR work. So it was interesting hearing y'all talk about HR. We actually have a lady that, I don't even care about this, but we have a lady that left UK and came to CHFS. But anyway, very interesting. So, like Barry said, last year we used your facilities. We actually Googled to see what the central location was for the state of Kentucky. Cabinet for Health and Family Services, we actually have 8,000 employees across the state. So understand with that amount of employees, we need a lot of HR folks. We have about 130, 140, depending at any given time because people quit. But we have around 130 employees at any given time that perform HR work. They do perform HR work across this Commonwealth in every county. So last year was the first time our training had been back up and going since COVID, because COVID changed everything. And I have to tell you, it was so successful. And part of that reason was because it was here, and it just was. That they were able to get up, the weather was great, and go walk on those tracks, go see those bees, to eat outside in the pavilion, because it wasn't being used that day. It was just wonderful. We actually do rent it for 3 days. The first day is just to get all logistics taken care of, and then our training is the second and third day. I don't want to rattle on. We also love, I don't know if you care about this, but we love the Danville area too. We already have some hotels that are on our state contract, so that was very easy to work out. And just the things that we were able to do, you know, the park, and we set up a lot of great activities for after hours. So it was just a wonderful time. So we're just here again to request. I hope we were good when we were here. We tried to be because I warned them. Okay, but it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing for us. Y'all have any questions?
I'll just say, I'm glad that you all enjoyed this much the first time that you want to come back, so.
Listen, I told Barry, I'm like, Barry, you're probably gonna get a lot of requests from state government. Because it's not that far. I actually live in Harrisburg, and to find out that we could use this was just, it was heartwarming, actually. Okay, I mean, it's so the one thing we do a post-training survey, and one of the very first questions, you have recommendations for hosting next year, you know, locations. Boom, 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 boom. I think we had, we usually don't get a lot of response, but we had about 85 responses. And okay, there were 2 people in Western Kentucky that wanted us to go down there, but that's not centrally located. But everybody else said Danville again. And they're blowing up my email. Okay, have you decided yet where you're gonna have your conference? Where you're gonna have your conference? So yeah, like I said, it was an honor. And Barry and his staff were great. And like I said, I hope we use the facilities and took good care of them, because we respect this. It's amazing what you all have over here. No concerns, Barry?
No.
Okay.
I make a motion that we allow them to do this. Do we need anything in the motion about? I know there's a 3-month window.
Yeah, and that's the primary reason that we had to get approval from the board, so
Okay.
something in motion about that. Cause it's in, mid-October or something.
Waiting the 3 months.
Yes, I make a motion to waive the 3 months, so they can apply and be accepted for their funds.
Made and seconded, okay. Any other discussion?
He's not.
He's already said.
I'll third it.
If I, is that a problem? Yeah. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Passes.
As former DCDS, thank you. Yes, absolutely. You probably hired me a long time ago. Just kidding. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I know, I've been asked by a couple of different associations about having their meetings here. They questioned that 6 month thing, so that's good to know that we can bring it up and waive it if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's,
So a lot of them can't plan that far out, or they have to plan that far out, but it's not available.
If you're gonna get moving your damn.
Yeah.
They're going to look at her.
You got to, yeah, got to.
We might need to visit sometimes that 90-day period, extend it out a little bit. The only concern that I have is if big meetings like this come in and block some of our local planned activities.
yeah, and that was one of the reasons for the 90-day, is because we didn't want to, knock out the agents of anything they need space for, and any of our local partner groups. So that's one of the main reasons why we try to keep it that way.
But you do a good job keeping track of all that, so if somebody, like the Judges Association, we're gonna have a meeting, that would be something you can tell, this
Yeah,
falls, shorter than, or longer than the previous.
and that's why we have the waiver, for those that, are a legitimate,
Yeah.
thing we wanna have here, we bring it to you and let you all.
Good deal.
The library does. They work it off 2 months.
Okay.
That's a resident for being on.
Okay,
Almost entirely look at the staff.
Yeah.
Because we have to get our act together so that we can make sure that, make some pieces,
sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Barry. I guess, the next item of business is a food bank, memorandum of understanding, which I think is also in the packet. Bring back over to you.
This is for the next fiscal year, for the Boyle County Schools, Family Resource, folks, they have the food pantry down here in the project room. We made a few small changes, and they were in agreement on all of this, on this document, and basically those are highlighted in yellow. Just a few minor changes from last year, and you're welcome to kind of look over everything again. And it's just to cover them for the next fiscal year, and then they'll take this, if it's approved, to their board, and then they approve, it'll be good to go for the year,
How long have we been doing this?
for 1 year, one fiscal
And
year.
just, it's that one
Yeah,
year. Now they're really,
yeah.
okay.
I had, we had no issue with.
No, we worked out, any minor little things, we got all that straightened out, and it's went pretty well, and, they serve a lot of folks, so.
I was able to attend during one of the monsoons. They took me around and I was very impressed with the food, the service.
And that's a
They were
different,
good.
that's the one that our office does.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna need the same for.
But, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a heck of a service we're doing.
How many people came through this last cycle?
you're talking about for the Boyle County Schools or for?
For the,
I think theirs is around, each time they do each month, I think you said anywhere from like 120 to 140 families, and then our food pantry does 144 households. So,
So basically, the memorandum of agreement was the initial memorandum of agreement last year.
Yeah.
So we got together and looked at, we changed some of the wording from the initial, to make it more of a continuing memorandum. And, we sent our changes to them, and they said, okay, and so that after this board's, approved it, they will go through.
I make a motion to approve continuing the memorandum of agreement for the year.
Seconded, to approve the MOA for another year. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Especially we will need your signature on the joint side of the line, one of the copies.
Yeah, you can sign.
Let me sign. Does anybody in tech world know how to get the little paragraph logo at the top, the end of each paragraph? Logo, get every paragraph, and I don't know how to fix it. I might. Have you Googled it? No? Fine. Hey, Siri. Hail. Hey.
Let's see. Next on the agenda is, Barry again with, Steph conference room reconstruction.
But, and I will put a disclaimer in it, very, Dave, my name's on that agenda a lot, but a lot of Barry's name on the agenda is because of me, so. You must spell Barry right, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that right.
Maybe. After that, I'm not sure what.
Basically, what we're looking at is, now, especially with the approval tonight of the, fifth, number 2 4-H agent, we are going to be maxed out on office space. Right now, we're using every office that we have. And it used to be before construction, there were 2 offices in this space. And when it was built on, they made that into a staff conference room. Well, we're looking at basically taking that back to being 2 offices again, and doing away with the staff conference room on our side.
We've had to move out of that staff conference into the snap kitchen now.
Yeah, because we've outgrown that space anyhow.
We've outgrown the second staff conference room.
So what I have are 2 different quotes, from some local contractors for all the labor materials of converting those into 2 separate offices. The first one is Paul's Construction, and you'll see their total is $9,400. And I have a certificate of liability insurance for them here. And then the second quote is from Shepherd Construction, and I have their certificate of liability insurance as well.
How much is there?
And Shepherd was. Significantly more, yeah.
Did they also provide?
Yes.
That's
When-
very other on.
Paul's estimate, they did not list any dollars out there on all the costs, where they did not have items.
Yeah.
Shepherd did.
When is itemized list or just approximated?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Big bid to ever that.
No, because they were, well, both of them were under the amount that we do the same thing that, I guess the county government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, under 30.
yeah.
for these people that have done work for us in the past, or?
I've never used either one of these companies. It was just through research and calling. And honestly, these are the only two that ever got back with me, here locally, you know, and actually came and looked at the space and see what we needed. So,
Did either company come on scene?
yes, both of them. I met with both companies on, you know, separate days and, you know, gave them both the exact same information. And told them what we needed and told them to give me, you know, and the quote was supposed to be itemized and he, with falls, they came in. By the time I got it, I kind of had to just go with it because it was a little late getting here, so. But, yeah,
Well, I can tell you from experience, the county clerk used Shepherd Construction to take his office and make it into 2 offices, and they did a great job on that. That's the only recommendation I can give you as far as that I know about. They split it in half and put up a wall and installed new electrical outlets and lights and a little bit of everything, and they did a fantastic job.
I might be wrong, but I believe Shepherd Construction is really, involved with giving, jobs to those who find difficult, difficulty in finding such jobs because of, you know, history and credentials, yeah. And, take a lot of pride in it. I'm 90% sure that's the correct. So it's something I would support it because the higher quality too.
He's right now remodeling a house for son and daughter-in-law. And so far, the work has been really good. This is 1803 house.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, a lot of that, and all these subs have done a really good job also too. He's actually in the county where the other one isn't, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Not. Well, what is that?
My mom has used.
It paid $7,300.
You know, I had a elderly mom and I was like, you will take thing about yourself. These gentlemen, you know, as a 6-year-old mom, I was like, I'm not afraid of that. And I was okay leaving her there for herself with the shepherd. So, and she was very pleased with their work. And they're all leaving.
they both kind of were that same, you know, it was, you know, within 2 or 3 weeks or more, when, you know, they get started properly. Neither one had any difference. So, you know,
I'm gonna put you on the spot, and you don't have to answer. Did both of them impress you, or did one impress more than the other?
I mean, Shepherd, you know, like I said, it falls, you know, quote, and both of them had the same exact, you know, interaction with me. I emailed them at the same time, reminding them of the date I had to have by, all of those things, and Shepherd came in a few days before Fall did. And yeah, Shepherd Construction did. When I met with them, you know, seemed to be professional. But I've never used either company. But it sounds like several people have, and so.
Except for their Shepherd.
Second.
And made and seconded for, to accept the bid for federal construction. Any other discussion?
Is this something that you all would prefer I wait till July 1st to start? As far as I'm looking at fiscal year, does that matter to you all?
Be a question for Mark.
Okay.
The longer you wait, the longer things.
Oh, absolutely. I think we should,
Yeah. Mark?
So we're only like.
And it depends on how many more projects we keep getting.
Well, we'll just move on to voting on this motion. So all those in favor of accepting the motion, say aye. Opposed? Pass.
and I'll need your signature. Yeah,
Vote, okay. All right. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. So I guess, overtime approval, is that, Jay, is that?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I was always under the opinion that program assistants were not allowed to go and stay overnight at 4-H camp or other like that, because they are on a bi-weekly, hourly type basis. But I've come to find out that if the board okays their overtime, it is okay. So, we have Danny Jones, he is, she needs to go to camp. And rather than driving back and forth, and right now Kim thinks she may have to stay in the cabin. So, according to my higher ups, they are allowed to put 24 hours a day. That they're in the cabin supervising the kids. But that takes board approval. And there's another deal in Lexington teen conference that they always take a bunch of kids to, and Danny will be needing to stay overnight there to supervise kids in the motel too.
How many days is, 4-H camp? 4 different nights, 5.
Before.
4 days, 4 nights.
Teen conference.
Pretty. And how many hours would be, overtime?
So the 37.5 hours is a normal week. So then you add 4 nights, 4 days of 24. So 424. Yeah, yeah.
Don't look at me too much when I do that.
I'm not even trying to do that.
I'm looking at you.
But I will throw this out there, if they do need to get a break, we can give them breaks throughout the evening.
Yeah.
And get them off.
It's just
Well, the
that
normal day, 7 hours a day.
7.5.
7.5.
Normal day would be 7.5.
And I will say, in years previous, Billy Joe has put at least 7.5, if not way more, going back and forth, she has to have that travel time, so. So from a staffing position, it makes a lot more sense to have those people stay in the cabins because it provides additional adult supervision for ratios that are always required. We never have an adult volunteer. A lot of volunteers.
Has it already been discussed with the staff that they would be okay with overtime?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is that Billy Joe and Danny wanting?
No, Kim said today, due to schedule and everything, Billy Joe will not be going to camp.
She-
Billy Joe's mother is passed.
When is it?
Wow, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
And that's that.
Would you like to know anything
Jane,
else?
where is it? Jane,
It's down at Kansas, down in London, Kentucky.
Awesome.
Yeah, here's the deal, that is kind of a side note. So camp survived, camp was 100 yards away from the furnace. They are reconstructing the pool, which their finish date is actually earlier now than they thought it was gonna be. But they still, the part of the camp, they're gonna have to use Levi Jackson's pool. Well, there's trees laying in Levi Jackson's pool. So hopefully they get that cleaned out. They have buses that will bus them. We can, I understand years ago, they used to just walk kids across the highway.
Across the highway to go.
To Levi Jackson's pool. Now we have to bus them.
Well,
So the buses, they've already got that all figured out, that's all all that liability, everything about it. Buses will be available to bus the kids over if Levi Jackson gets the pool over. But beyond all that, so basically, we just need a motion to approve the overtime for Danny Jones at 4-H camp and teen conference.
There's room for them to stay there.
Yes.
and it would be locked.
Okay.
And we have money in the budget for that.
That was in that. Bring it back for that.
Yeah.
I dream of sending assistance.
But all that overtime is. That's a UK deal, that's not necessarily a budget deal. So at the end of the year, it is part of the budget.
Right.
But at the end of the year, when they settle up the UK dollars and all that, that's when all this overtime and everything will be settled. Usually there's a refund, wherever a lot of times that too much, there's a refund. So the overtime will be given that.
Refund last year was 38,000.
And do you want to have, I make the first motion.
Okay.
I didn't know wording that.
All
I'm first.
To approve both trips for overtime or any other. Can I do that? Both trips?
You can, and
Do I need to list out those?
we may have to take them.
I can give you both days.
You ready? For H can.
Which is July 7th,
7 to
11th. And team conference is coming up. Hold on. June 11th through the 14th.
for overtime for any job, but
So 7 nights total.
I second that motion, yes.
Made and seconded. Any discussion, any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed. Any other new business?
I did not put supper on the agenda because I didn't think it needed to be official in the record, so we're having supper.
Does anybody want to have less food?
Do we vote to adjourn?
We haven't done that yet. There wasn't any, other requests or any other things we get right?
Next meeting.
Oh. Next meeting, probably August for tax rate. That's our standard. So it would be August.
Well, that's the one that whenever we get it, we meet, right? Not necessarily.
Well, once we get tax rates, you've got 45 and, and they're saying the tax rates are coming down early.
I believe that one.
Yeah, me too.
August,
Okay,
not a lookout, take it out.
okay.
August 4th, so that, is it?
Yeah.
Can we set that date or is that one we have to wait till it comes up?
I think we'll be okay.
Okay, all right.
I mean, we're within 45 days of that almost.
Motion. Somebody.
Oh, they're first.
We're gonna be back at 5:30, right?
5:30.
Yeah, okay,
I'll set that.
all right.
We won't have one in July.
Then when's
Oh, I mean, right now, don't have it.
That's one.
It's supposed to be 14 here.
But it's mandatory. It's 4 times.
And then we'll have a couple. I think we can probably about October. Probably October, yes. We can flip over and it's. I would not see it changing that one.
I think some, I've already heard, somebody make a motion to adjourn. Any in favor?
Yeah.
All those in favor? Okay.
If you're not allergic to salmon, or salmon, go devil egg, make the greens